not my first. I could not tell you before, because my first wife is royal. That marriage is secret because I am not. And we have a son, a prince. You are not my first wife, but I love you. We two must keep our marriage secret, otherwise I will be destroyed. You are not my first wife, not my first wife, not my first. You will not my first wife. Who told you I am married? And my wife is here too. Well, my first wife is old, but I won't disgrace her with divorce for my children. So yes, in America we won't be legal, but we will marry in the mosque, and you will be my real wife. You are not my first wife, not my first wife, not my first. You are not my first wife, but you are young and lovely. You will be my pleasure wife. I already have children with my first wife. They are my priority, I want no more. I told you to give me none. What? You're pregnant again. I won't love them. You are not my first wife, not my first wife, not my first. You are not my first wife. You are no longer very young. You will never be a first wife. You accepted my offer to be second. Now let me use the bed in your home for my new woman to visit me in. I can't take her to my first wife's home. You are not my first wife, not my first wife, not my first. You are not my first wife, but you were my American wife. I said I would take you to my country. Well, here you are. You can meet my uncles, but no women in my family. My uncles say you must find a way, have our marriage annulled and go home. You are not my first wife, not my first wife, not my first. You are not my first wife. Yes, I married another right after you and I broke up. But now I am in America. Let's do temporary marriage. Wouldn't that be fun? We can be together over here. You are not my first wife, not my first wife, not my first wife, not my first. You are not my first wife, but you will be my favorite. We are a love match, so beautiful you are. Now I must return to our country, to my first wife and 3 sons. All my money goes to them. Have Americans support you. I can't. You are not my first wife, not my first wife, not my first wife, not my first. Second wives aren't legal in the USA. You have no hold on me, and I am still free. You are not my first wife, not my first wife, not my first wife, not my first. You're almost nothing.
Hallelujah. Let Lord Jesus Christ shine forth. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us. Welcome and welcome, David. How are you doing?
I'm good.
What
As
have you been up?
always,
What have you been up to?
crushing ortho bros.
Is that a good thing or bad thing? It is
Good.
good to have debates and discussions on the
Good
different.
for me, bad for them. Bad for them, good for the rest of the world. No, I haven't. They think I'm. It's this funny situation. Like they think I'm coming after them when really I'm just like seeing how they react to certain things for future reference. I haven't decided. I still have to talk. I still have to talk to a couple people to find out, because I still don't know whether things are certain orthobros or like all the orthobros or like even among others. So anyway, yeah, I still have to. I still have to figure things out, to figure out who's responsible for all this messed up stuff that's going on. But whoever it is will be crushed.
What is the difference between orthobros and Orthodox Christians? How do you like? Why don't you call them Orthodox Christians? You call them orthobros.
That's what they're called. They're more like an online group of like teenagers and adults with the mentality of teenagers who run around harassing everyone online. Is that most Orthodox Christians aren't doing that. They go around whining to everyone and complaining and interfering with everything everyone else does. But yeah, they believe that when you preach the gospel, right, you're basically it's like a person is on fire and you're throwing gasoline on it, because you're just making it worse because you don't have the true church and the true gospel and stuff. And so they want to harass and interfere with the work that non-Orthodox Christians are doing. But anyway, like I said, I don't see just normal Orthodox Christians doing that. I see a particular group, and they got a community on X. And anyway, yeah, it's not, we don't need to talk about that now, but that's, you asked what's been going on. So
no, I just didn't know the difference between them. So are we thinking, should I be thinking when I hear orthobros, they are not the ones like who kind of attend the church on Sundays and then take part in sacrament stuff, or they're just doing that alongside of doing online ministry?
It's probably a mixture, because there are definitely people who take it seriously, but there are other people who probably are just part of the online group and don't take things very seriously outside of that. It just anyways, you got these young guys, and they I don't know, they seem to think it's this isn't just them. Several years ago, there were what we called cage stage Calvinists, where you had all these young aggressive Calvinists, and they walked around like annoying everyone and wanting to argue, you have to debate me. Now you got the orthobros doing that. But yeah, it seems to be a situation where you have young people, and then they get this idea that, you can go out and start challenging everyone to debate, but vast majority of Christians don't know a whole lot about Eastern Orthodoxy and aren't concerned about debating it. So they're like, we're not interested, and they just keep coming at you, and it makes them feel strong, right? Makes them feel strong and tough. Oh yes, everyone's running from us. And in the end, it doesn't have the reaction they want, because eventually you annoy people, and then they do start responding, and then you start whining like babies. Why is everyone attacking us? So anyway, it's a weird situation. I've never been interested in the different denominations, arguments and stuff like that, but they're becoming a distraction for people who are responding to dawah, because we're not supposed to be responding to dawah. They are, because we're just leading people astray and so on. So anyway, it's a weird situation.
Well, it's always beneficial and good to have debates and discussions on our differences. That's one of the things we see in the scripture as well as in the church history, right?
Yeah, and that's what I want to come out of this, right? Because I had in response to these guys saying we got to debate the true church, I had two Orthodox Christians a little while back, and we had a very polite, friendly discussion, even though I was raising objections and stuff like that, and they were responding, but it was all super cool. And have an Orthodox priest coming on my channel tomorrow. He's going to lay out the case for Orthodoxy. But also, after that live stream, going to have JP from JP Uncut, who's very critical of the icons and such of the Orthodox Church. And so he's going to share his thoughts on that and how he doesn't he doesn't think this goes anywhere back near the apostolic, near the apostles. So anyway, I'm basically, I don't know a lot about it, but I'm told I have to debate it by them. They insist that we debate it, and we're not allowed to do anything else until we debate them on the true church. So I am reluctantly agreeing to learn all this stuff and then go. Then we can do a debate, and then I'll see if they want to leave us alone after that. And if not, then wait, we'll just keep debating. But yep, I've not familiar with any of this stuff, but yeah, so that's the situation.
One of the basic things I learned is when someone force you to do something, I intentionally don't do it.
Oh, just so that's me too. Like my inclination is to do the opposite, but if it were just me, they've been mouthing off to me for a while. I don't pay any attention to it, but now they're going after like God logic and others. And so it's like, okay, I'll do it. I'll jump in front of this here so you guys can go on doing what you've been called to do. So, and yes, I can tell you're the sort of person who would do the opposite of what someone.
No,
You think we didn't gather that information from all these years, Hatun?
If someone is forcing you to do something, like, yeah, it's like their agenda, right? So what is the agenda of the Lord? Okay, so
one second. There is an exception to that, right? Because you're like that. Oh, they're trying to make me do this. Well, there's no way I'm gonna go along with it. But you can when they say you have to do this. You can if you know, oh, you're going to regret this. You are really, really going to regret this. You can teach them a powerful lesson, and then maybe they stop running their mouths.
Well, I've got different thoughts on that, but let me respond to this, and then we focus on what we are going to talk about. So this person think, why do you and David bring shame to your faith? Last time when I checked, Lord Jesus Christ was very much loving me. And I think I checked that just before I went to the live stream. But someone thinks I bring shame and you bring shame to your faith, David. I bring shame to my faith. Why do you spread hate to humanity? All religions at the end of the day give the same message of peace and harmony.
I think this is a troll. He commented on my last live stream as well. It's got to be a troll. He can't be this dumb. Yeah, he said the same thing. All religions at the end of the day teach the same message. And I go, do they though? Because I can think of one that definitely doesn't. But yeah.
Okay. So I thought we can talk about what happened in San Diego on Monday. 3 people are being murdered by 2 teenagers. And I thought we can talk about some of the Muslim reactions, how they are reacting, how they are figuring out who did what might be the reason, all those kind of things. But before that, if that's okay with you, I just want to bring up something from the UK.
So, has anything good ever come from there?
Tea?
Tea. Now, if coffee came from there, that would be something. But oh my goodness, tea.
So a few years ago, the year, I can't remember which year was it, but maybe 2020. We are in 2024. 2 gentlemen at the airport. It ended up on the news because apparently police is trying to arrest them. They are breaking the nose of the police officer. And then a few days after that, there was big riots in UK because Mr. Muslim went and then murdered a couple of kids. So like those events were very close to one another. So these 2 Mr. Muslims who one of them was police was trying to arrest them at the airport in Manchester. They've been going through these legal systems. And last couple of days, we are just waiting for the judge to make decision regarding whether they are guilty or not, what is the punishment for them. And we find out officially now, after 19 hours, 48 minutes of jury discussed, they decided case is dismissed because judge failed to reach the verdict.
Those guys that like beat the crap out of a female police officer and stuff like that, and then just can't reach a verdict because it would be Islamophobic.
I don't know whether it will be Islamophobic or not, but here's the clip. Here's the clip you are talking about. I'm just gonna mute the sound, and then play it. This is the police officer. Her nose was broken. It must be very painful. She's like,
He hit her hard.
Yeah. She's shocked, she's crying, all those kind of things. And then, yeah, they left her. She is going to cry by herself. You got the consequences of trying to arrest someone, right? That's her. That's the police officer you mentioned. Since I brought up the police officer, I'll bring the full event to us as well, so we know actually what happened. So I'm gonna mute that as well. Actually, yeah, okay. Let me play this as well, so we know what we are talking about. So those are the two gentlemen at the Manchester airport. Police is coming, trying to arrest him. Wow. Very peaceful there, right?
What I'm hearing from the UK is if police try to arrest you, just start beating the crap out of them, and you're good to go.
Well, according to law, that is crime. So this is the moment police is approaching them to arrest them. So by law, if you are being arrested, you should kind of compile. You should let police to arrest you. Otherwise, that's a crime.
Yeah, in the U.S., it's called resisting arrest. I wish I had known this was the rule back in the day.
And this is why police is arresting them. So they are talking with a gentleman. And then he just...
Yeah, he headbutts the guy there, and he's punching the guy.
Yeah.
And then police come to arrest him. Then he beats the crap out of him. And then the guy police officer sees the girl all punched in the face and stuff, and he gets ticked off and kicks the guy. And then do you remember after it happened, everyone just took the little clip of the cop kicking the guy. They're like, look at the Islamophobia. This is how they treat Muslims here. And they left out the part about this guy beating the crap out of a woman and stuff.
Yeah, that's what his lawyer submitted, right? His lawyer submitted to media the part he's being beating, this part. And then everyone was like, oh, poor guy. And then they get arrested, and then in front of the Manchester police station, you've got Muslim mobs wants those individuals on the street. And then, of course, British police is very awesome. They just bow down to request, and then they let those people go. So this is sometime in August 2024. And now we are May 2026, and actually 2025. I can't remember. Anyway, sometime, like, it's been a while. And now after all these like cases going on and on and on, after sitting down and talking about it and discussing, hearing all those, seeing evidence, hearing all these kind of things, 19 hours 48 minutes debate and discussion, the jury couldn't reach the verdict. So now these Mr. Muslims are still enjoying their freedom on the streets.
That's the UK, guys. That's the UK.
So I guess lesson is when police is arresting you, make sure you are acting like a Mr. Muslim. That might help you to get away with things. Okay. I just thought I'll bring that to your attention and some of the audience attention so they can figure out what's happening in UK. While that's happening in UK, UK stands for United Kingdom. While that's happening in UK, in San Diego, it's in California, a mosque and Islamic center is being attacked. Three people are being murdered, and two attackers, teenagers, murdered themselves. What are your thoughts on that? Did you hear about it?
I heard about it, and I heard that we're responsible, according to I've heard about a couple of people. I've heard Sheikh Uthman said it, Malik said it, and we somehow inspired these guys, according to Sheikh Uthman and Malik, like 15 seconds after it happened.
So they must have good evidence to know what's happening inside, right?
Obviously, because, every time there's an Islamic terrorist attack, it doesn't matter. The guy can be screaming Allahu Akbar and have a manifesto about imposing Islam or whatever, and somehow it has nothing to do with Islam, we're told over and over and over again. So if they're going to point a finger at anyone as having been responsible for inciting some youngsters to go on a killing spree, it has to be really, really, really strong evidence. So we know these guys are like, yes, God logic made me do this. It's because of God logic and David Wood.
When I first heard there was an attack to mosque, first thing I thought was, is this Shia is going after Sunnis? That's the first thing I thought until more information came out.
Yeah, because, when you hear about it, if you hear about a mosque, an attack on a mosque, right? If you don't know anything else, okay, there are multiple possibilities. Could be someone who hates Muslims because he's an Islamophobe or something like this. But it just tends to be, there are not a lot of people attack mosques. Not a lot of non-Muslims go out and attack mosques. So most mosque attacks, in my recollection, are carried out by other Muslims from a different group who are attacking these guys. So, yeah.
Someone made a comment that in Sweden, a dad was arrested for trying to protect his 13 years old from being groomed by 16 years old Muslim migrant, and he was forced to pay $20,000 to the groomer. Yep.
Yeah, similar thing happened in the UK years back when a guy tried to get his daughter out of the house with all the Muslims who were doing stuff to her, and police arrested him for being an Islamophobe. Good times. But yeah, so anyway, that's called the prior probability. That when we hear about mosque attacks, it's usually by some other Muslim group. But this situation, it was some young neo-Nazis.
Two teenagers. Do you remember a couple of months ago, I don't know, maybe it's been a while, there was another shooting in a Catholic school in Minnesota. And lots of kids were murdered, and then there was one girl was hospitalized for long time stuff. I remember listening that news, and there was nothing indicate in that news this was hate crime. But I was listening what happened in San Diego. Police officer in the press conference was stating they are treating this as a hate crime. Any thoughts on that?
This one is a hate crime, or that one is a hate crime?
The one in San Diego is a hate crime. Police is treating that as a hate crime.
Based on what I've heard, you could definitely call this a hate crime.
because it is to the mosque?
No, because it's kind of like when you target someone or a group specifically because not because you're mad at them or something, like mad at this individual or this individual did something, but because you're part of this group that they don't like. Could be a race or religion or something like that. But yeah, if it had been a bunch of Christians, they probably wouldn't have called it a hate crime. They just would have called it a random mass murder or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. I've got the clip of Sheikh Uthman speaking after the event. By the way, before I kind of get to Sheikh Uthman, who is officially not a sheikh, and he's officially not mufti either, but in his channel he's identified as mufti and sheikh.
That's good.
The mosque we are talking about is the mosque where two individuals come from who was involved in 9/11. So it's not a mosque just on the street, but it's a mosque which has a history with jihadis. Just wanted to bring that to people's attention too. So here's the clip of Sheikh Uthman. He's kind of talking about what is the reason to this and how this all kind of come to be, David. So
he's explaining it to Sneeko. That's good.
Yeah, he needs to learn these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start from this. I don't know why it is, but because that's where the timeline starts. Okay, so let's see.
Posted on the One Message Foundation channel in the comments every single day. Every single day, we see death threats being posted. We see, and alhamdulillah, like you're saying, and like I'm saying, the Muslim community are not cowards. We will not be put into a state of fear. We will continue.
Well, what if you challenge God logic to debate and he shows up at your mosque? You're not going to be scared and back down then?
That is intellectual fear. He's not talking about that, David.
So he wouldn't be scared if someone came at him with guns, but he'll wet his pants if someone shows up for a debate. Okay, got it.
Or if someone comes to him with ketchup. He will be brave enough to face them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you are going to him in the intention of debate and discussion, that's different.
Or if you're his wife, he'll choke the crap out of you and point a gun at your head and smash a bowl over your head. That's why one of his wives got a restraining order on him for doing that.
Well, maybe we should do a review of his video about he's talking about multiple wives, benefits of it stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that's what he did to his wife, because you can get the hints for that. But anyway, so I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, he's very brave. They are already just 3 Muslims are just being murdered, and Muslims are already put the face of we are the professional victims, but we will stand our ground.
Very brave. Hey, you know what's weird? He's been years ago. He was faking things against himself and then doing this, but we won't back down. But it was fake. First he did it with a note. Supposedly they found a note on the car, but they conveniently did it right when they're filming and stuff. They found the note attached to his car. Sheikh Uthman, you will stop your powerful dawah or we will hurt you, blah, blah, blah. And then he turned to the camera and we will never back down. We will never back down. You will not impose. The dawah's gonna take over the world. And then of course he had his little fake hate crime against himself, where he covered covered himself in fake blood, and then we couldn't have proved it. It looked like fake blood, but we couldn't have proven it if he hadn't kept lying, because that's what he does. He doesn't know when to stop, and he kept lying and said that the guy was arrested, that the guy went to court, was convicted, was in prison, all this stuff. And Everyone contacted the courts and the police and everyone else, and police said, we have no record of any of this stuff. So totally made up, total liar. And what's amazing, what's absolutely amazing is you take someone like Jussie Smollett, an actor, and he fakes a hate crime against himself, his career is done. He is done. No one trusts him anymore. No one wants to go near him. Sheikh Uthman does the exact same thing, and he's the hero of the Ummah. That shows you guys, like, Islamic, it's like, it's worse than Hollywood culture. Hollywood will kick a dude to the curb for faking a hate crime against himself. Islam, nope, you can still be the hero of Dawah no matter how much why? Because lying is far more acceptable in the Dawah community than it is in even Hollywood. That should be disturbing.
Anything gets you views, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this clip we just listened, he's talking about how he's getting lots of death threats there, even his comments on his YouTube channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he said every day. And then I went to comments under this. There was no death threat at all. There was not even like someone saying anything I could think nasty at all. But yeah, apparently it's happening. We don't want people to get harmed because what they are saying stuff. But that doesn't mean you just lie and then get free pass, Sheikh Uthman.
We will continue the da'wah. We will continue to live as Americans as we have the right to do so. And I encourage the entire Muslim community to take up the Second Amendment and defend themselves, because we see right now, even when we are attacked in such a way, people who are running for government offices are mocking it. This lady, Valencia, what's her name? The one from
Valentina Gomez, saying that she wants to put America first with the thickest Colombian accent I've ever heard. Like, they don't accept her and she wants her approval.
Herself is not somebody who was born in the United States. She herself is somebody who immigrated. I mean, people like J.D. Vance and others whose wife's an immigrant herself, and they're talking about these kinds of things. When they spew this hate, that hate has consequences. Like if a Muslim imam came and gave a khutbah that Muslims should eradicate Christians in America, for example, and then somebody heard that and acted upon it, he would be arrested for inciting that hate.
Oh, well, why not Sheikh Uthman all those years ago when he said that non-Muslims will either have to convert or they'll be enslaved with their wives and stuff? Why wouldn't that be hateful?
Well, I guess it is easy to take the mic and then play the professional victim card while you are simply enjoying the freedom of speech. So if Muslim does that, they will come after him. But Muslims are doing that. I've been in a mosques like where people are simply screaming death to America. But apparently,
hey,
get away with these things because it goes under the freedom of speech.
Screaming death to America can never incite anyone to do anything.
Only Allah Akbar.
Only criticizing Islam is spreading hate and violence and makes you responsible for anything that ever happens.
Okay, I'm just gonna move forward a little bit with the clip, okay? Why don't you talk a few minutes until I find exactly the spot for it?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Talk about on the topic we are talking about, David. There is no need to open up new topic. We can talk about professional victims.
We could talk about anything, guys. We could talk about anything. Yeah, it is amazing. It is just, I mean, it's so pathetic. This goes all the way back. This was my first impression in prison of Muslim. They kept messing with Christians and pulling up on Christians and stuff like that. And the first time I wasn't getting violent or anything with them, but I told them what I think about their God and their prophet and stuff like that. And they ran to the warden. And that's like, those of you outside of, you have no clue how bad that is in prison. You are snitch. And it's like, wait a minute, you guys go around starting trouble with anyone the moment I respond, and make fun of your religion. You run to the warden. Are you kidding? Now you're the victim. Are you kidding me? But I thought that was just them. I thought it was just them. And then nope. I found out ever since it's Islam will take over the world. We will subjugate you. We will do whatever we want. We will enslave all women, and they will be our sex slaves. And you respond and go, and screw your fake prophet. Oh my goodness, police help! It's a hate crime. They criticized us.
Well, we can't do anything when people's feelings are hurt. If they cannot take the critics, all we need to do is just shut up. That's a good thing to do.
That is.
In the classroom to calm them, not knowing that her husband was out there getting killed by these terrorists. This is the mosque that we were at. You met the imam. We shot a video on how to make wudu, and I was teaching you. I thought, we should record it to teach others, and I have that recording. And we shot a video on how to pray with you, and that was that same mosque. You met the imam.
So Sneeko apparently learned how to do wudu and how to do prayer from in that mosque. And
hang on. So this is when Sneeko was in California?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that when Sheikh Uthman took Sneeko shooting and they shot an LGBTQ flag? Huh.
Yeah, and see, I didn't remember that. Now you are reminding me that. Yeah, apparently that's the same mosque. They met and then they did all those kind of things.
And and then they went and did shooting practice on an LGBTQ flag. Yeah, but now oh no, look, everyone's called it. They're inciting violence, everything they do. And guess what? Sheikh Uthman knows this and Sneeko knows this, and they're still playing victims here. No one did anything to you two. No one did anything to you two. How are you the victims? If you say anytime any Muslim is attacked, you're the victims. Okay, what about when anyone in the LGBTQ community is attacked? Should they blame you because you guys went and shot a LGBTQ flag?
And now there's conversations regarding those two teenagers who committed the crime, were part of that Alphabet people group community stuff. So makes sense. Maybe they watched that video, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. I don't know.
Very friendly. He greeted you. These are real people, real lives, children and innocent fathers that have been put through such a horrible thing. How do people mock it?
So
I don't understand.
Can I have your, because this is not normal, right? You're still.
I have to say, yeah, you shouldn't be. No one should be mocking this, right? No one should be mocking. We can mock Sheikh Uthman and Sneeko, like the fakest people on the planet, guys who threaten other people and want to take over the world and all this idiotic nonsense. I mean, you had Sneeko out on the street yelling the Khyber chant. That's about killing Jews. That's about slaughtering Jews. So Sneeko's so according to their logic, Sneeko's responsible if when any Jew gets killed. He's responsible, and they're both responsible if anyone attacks anyone in the LGBTQ community. So they don't really believe this. They believe they're supposed to be subjugating the entire world, and this is just a tool they have. They can cry and pretend to be victims when something bad happens. Yeah. So anyway, we can mock the crap out of these guys, but no one should be mocking people who got killed by some neo-Nazis.
I don't think anyone is mocking unless Uthman's lying again.
Have a close relationship to it, and immediately you'll already see these demonic acts from these insidious people. What would your advice be, Sheikh Uthman, to the Muslims that are seeing this and want to seek some sort of protection? What can we do to stay steadfast and not get caught into this insanity?
The first thing is, as Muslims, we have to live by a high moral code, the code that Muhammad
we have to live by a high moral code in Islam. We have to fake hate crimes against ourselves. We have to be like you, Sneeko. What were the words? Oh, running trains, smashing hoes, all the stuff you did, running trains on girls after going to the club with the Warner and all these others, doing three-ways, all the stuff that you got exposed for. We got to be like that. No, we got to be like Sheikh Uthman too. Remember him when his dawah buddy sent his wife to Sheikh Uthman for marital counseling, and Sheikh Uthman banged her, and everyone started calling him Sheikh Ibn Zina. Notice, fake hate crime, beats the crap out of one of his wives, smashes a bowl over her head, chokes her, puts a gun to her head, and then everything else that led to him being called Sheikh Ibn Zina. None of that hurts him. None of that hurt them.
So you are telling me there is a problem with this so-called high moral code?
Yeah, that high moral code's under investigation.
Okay. Okay.
To violence with violence. We don't react to ignorance with ignorance. At one time,
What if all you got's ignorance, man?
the wife of the Prophet, peace be upon him, his beloved wife, was with him. And some of the people who were Jews of Medina, they mocked them by saying, Sam alaykum. Like instead of saying salam, peace be upon you, they wished death and poison be upon you. So Aisha radiallahu anha, she heard this, she got upset. You know, she wanted to respond harshly.
See, have nice
But
there.
the Prophet, peace be upon her, told her, don't respond harshly. Just say wa alaykum upon you too. Don't engage in their vile behavior with being harsh back. I mean, that's such a beautiful example. The Prophet, peace be upon him,
See, those things just makes you fall in love with Islam, right? While they are playing professional victim card, they are ignoring other realities and picking and choosing the hadiths.
Like clockwork. It's all a scam. It's all a scam to these guys.
had a harsh Bedouin came and ripped a cloth that he had on his shoulder harshly, leaving a mark and saying, give me what Allah has given you, like asking him. The Prophet gave him, he gave him everything. You know, so we as Muslims should not react with ignorance. We should not react with violence. We should never generalize Christians or Jews or anybody by blaming the general population for the actions of these two terrorists. We will not stoop to that.
Good. Good, you're not going to blame anyone.
On all
Except
Muslims
them.
in America to you.
Say it again.
No, he said he's not going to generalize and blame someone else for what these two guys did. So that's good.
Yeah, so this is just setting the scene.
That's good.
Utilize this to build bridges, to reach
Build
out
bridges.
to people of the Christian faith, of the Jewish faith, of the Hindu faith, and other faiths, to educate them about Islam, to build bridges of understanding, to utilize the situation to show the world that we are people who want peace. We are people who want to coexist in this country as fellow citizens peacefully. We're not here taking over anything. Yes, we share our faith because we believe in our faith.
Wait. Not here to take over. This is the same guy who screams Islam will enter every household and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Can you help me to remember how can you build bridges with other faiths? Through like preparing for marathon or something? I thought, like when people are going to him, so one of the way you build bridges, you discuss your differences with them, right? You debate what are the things you disagree about. But if you are running away from these platforms, these opportunities, how can you build bridges? It just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe my understanding of building bridges are something else.
I'm trying to think of a scenario where he has ever built any bridge with anyone that wasn't just him pretending to be a victim. I can't think of one. I'm trying. I was seriously trying to think.
Maybe only bridge he built is bridge for that woman to leave her husband and run to him.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the only bridge.
Jehovah's Witness or the Latter-day Saint Christians or others do as well. We believe in sharing what we believe peacefully, lovingly. The next thing I'm going to say, and I'm not afraid of anybody. I speak the truth. I only fear Allah.
You're not a fear of anyone? You're not afraid of anyone? You literally hid inside the church inside the mosque from God Logic. After challenging him to debate, he shows up and you hide.
Didn't he also brought his gun members out when this lady's husband went to mosque asking about his wife? the woman whom he stole.
I don't even know. I can't even keep track of all this stuff. This guy. It's pretty creepy.
Not just masajid and organization. Every Muslim in America needs to defend themselves. The hate that we're getting, the threats we're getting, the violence. You just got attacked recently. You've seen the attacks we've had, and other Muslims, innocent women coming out of Walmart.
Did you hear that?
Shot.
He talked about Sneeko getting attacked. Sneeko annoyed someone and when he's live, and the guy walked up and punched him in the face. And you see, this is the anti-Muslim persecution.
Of course, that is the case, because you are Muslim. Why should anyone even challenge you? Why should even the person you annoy should respond to you? If they do, that's what happens. Muslim becomes more victim.
Hey, what's up with that crap bookshelf? Did he have to move again?
I don't know.
Do you remember he used to have the nice ones that were a nice background? Now he has that.
He's got lots of books. I don't know whether he's able to read those books up there or not, but I don't know.
Yeah, Jai and DOC think his Arabic is crap, so I don't think he's reading any of the Arabic ones.
Well, he made a video about his opening this box with lots of Arabic books. Maybe he likes the art in it, pictures, the way it is, alphabet is put together.
We're doing nothing but practicing their religion. We as Muslims in America, we're not just going to sit around and take it. We have to use the Second Amendment ourselves and defend ourselves. And we believe in being just and fair, but we don't believe in becoming victims and having the victim mindset. We're not going.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Just as much.
We don't believe in having the victim mindset. Oh, we're poor us.
He's coming there.
As it is anybody else. Donald Trump's ancestors migrated here. J.D. Vance's wife and his ancestors.
Trump's wife from Slovenia. She's an immigrant.
Trump's wife is an immigrant that came on not even on an immigrant visa. I believe she came on a visit or something visa and then changed it. So, talk about Marco Rubio. Where's his family from? I don't remember that being somebody that came on the Mayweather or something, or Mayflower or whatever that ship was, right? I mean, unless your name is Standing Horse or Sitting Bull or something like that, you have no right to tell anybody else to leave this country. I was raised in the U.S. I'm from San Diego. This is you as well, and we're here to stay, and we want to live peacefully amongst people of other faiths.
And subjugate the world, as you said.
And we have freedom of religion in this country. I mean, they're trying to change it. They act like they love the Constitution, but they don't seem to understand that one of the core doctrine of this country is that we have freedom of religion, and even of the Treaty of Tripoli.
Yeah, these guys love the Constitution. They love it. They really love America and love the Constitution
because it gives them those freedoms, right? The freedoms that they won't even get in Muslim majority countries, the freedoms they won't even give to non-Muslims in Muslim majority countries. They enjoy those freedoms in America.
Yeah, what they really mean, I kind of don't know really with Sneeko, because he seems to be more of a grifter, not take it really seriously. And Sheikh Uthman, he's definitely a grifter, but he does want Islam to take over. He's said as much, but these are, my goodness. Sheikh Uthman, you catch him when he's being honest. Islam's going to enter every house. Islam's going to take over the world. All your people are going to be enslaved. But no, we just love the Constitution and the freedoms that America grants us.
Yeah.
You love the freedoms that you can use to help you while you try to spread your message, planning for the future when you can violently subjugate people.
Similar thing Yasser Kadir recently stated, like how the freedom that he will never get in Pakistan, that he's got that in America, and using it stuff. So yeah, the very freedom which they are against it, they are just using for their own something.
The founding fathers, I'll read it here, saying that the government of the United States is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion. This is John Adams.
Wow.
As in it has no character or enmity.
By the way, if you want to say that, you can't. That oh my goodness, that letter was for Muslims because they asked the Muslims, why do you keep attacking us? We've never done anything to you. The United States has never done anything to Muslims. Why are you attacking us? And the response was, because you're Kafirs and stuff like this, and you're Christians. And they said, no, we're not a Christian country. And then in the English version, it didn't have that. They wrote that specifically for Muslims to try to avoid being attacked. And now you've got Sneeko quoting it. But
You are serious?
What?
I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's the laws, religion, or tranquility, or of the Muslims. They said back then, they said Mohammedan. And as it said in the States, ever entered into any war or act of hostility against the Mohammedan religion. It is declared by parties that no pretext arising from religious opinion shall ever produce an interruption of the harmony existing between the two countries. So this is founding fathers. This is doctrine, Treaty of Tripoli, 1817. This is core American beliefs. Not only do we have freedom of religion, but especially the Muslims. There is nothing that's going to get away from our ability to practice our religion peacefully. And we'll continue.
Yeah, no one's stopping you from practicing your religion peacefully. Yeah, it sucks that two neo-Nazis went and shot up a place, but I mean, people attack churches, people attack synagogues. I'm not here. Oh, you'll never stop me from practicing Christianity by doing that. Well, yeah, it wasn't going to. I don't need to announce that it's not going to stop me from practicing Christianity. This is just.
Well,
here's the thing. It's like if it were two just Muslims who actually believed what they were saying. If it were two Muslims who actually like love America and love the Constitution and weren't just like it's every single word out of their mouth is fake, and it's I don't know, it's just annoying.
Well, this is the face of have to be professional victim. That's how I am seeing, like, not only like they're intentionally misrepresenting things, lying and playing victim card, and they're just going on about it, like.
Or a person of reason, look up Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson, who was one of the architects of the American Constitution and of what we have, he had a Quran. I mean, it's something that is well known.
He had a Quran because you guys kept attacking and he wanted to learn about your religion. This is so stupid. He had a Quran. He had a Quran to learn about your religion because you kept attacking him, and a huge portion of the United States' entire budget was spent paying off Muslims to stop them from attacking ships.
I would like to say that my dogs had Qurans too.
I'm trying to look up what he said because he did have a Quran, and they make a big deal out of this. I remember he said something in his notes. I'm trying to find it.
Okay, while you are finding it, I'll play.
And he was a Unitarian, by the way. He believed in one God. He did not believe in the Trinity. And that's one of the founding fathers of America. So this is not a Christian country. This is not a Jewish country. And it's not a Muslim country. It's a country that is believed to be open to all faiths. And we have the freedom of religion. We have the freedom of expression, freedom of speech that we have to defend. I really hope that people of good faith, good people of Christian faith, of Jewish faith, of Hindu faith, atheists, agnostics, everybody else will see this incident to be a wake-up call to stop the hate, to stop the hate mongering from the likes of Jake Lang, from the likes of David Wood and Apostate and Avery and all these people who are just spewing. Who is it?
And Loomer, Jigsaw.
Yes, for sure. Laura Loomer, all these hate mongerings that are leading to the deaths of innocent people. It's not just people saying things. You're inspiring young teenagers to go carry out acts of violence.
Hang on, do you hear this?
Violence. This is something.
Yeah,
Muhammad, yeah. So fight those who do not believe in Allah. That's not inciting young people to do acts of violence. Muhammad saying that he'd been made victorious with terror, that's not doing anything. All the stuff that these guys are screaming in their mosques, that's not doing anything. But these neo-Nazis, yep, they were definitely inspired by Avery. These neo-Nazis, extreme racists, guys, they had that. Did you check out what was written about these guys? Hang on. It's pretty insane. Where was that?
what are you checking?
Huh?
What are you checking?
I'll just look it up again. I had it. There was an article because their manifesto. They had a 75-page manifesto.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Let me see.
While you are bringing that up, let them to finish their statements.
It's a country that is believed to be open to all faiths, and we have the freedom of religion, we have the freedom of expression, freedom of speech that we have to defend. I really hope that people of good faith, good people of Christian faith, of Jewish faith, of Hindu faith, atheists, agnostics, everybody else will see this incident to be a wake-up call to stop the hate, to stop the hate mongering from the likes of Jake Lang, from the likes of David Wood and Apostate and Avery and all these people who are spewing. Who is it?
And Loomer, Jigsaw.
Yes, for sure. Laura Loomer, all these hate mongerings that are leading to the deaths of innocent people. It's not just people saying things. You're inspiring young teenagers to go carry out acts of violence by calling them to acts of violence. This is something that Christians should say, enough of this.
That's actually a great point. I'm not sure. Well, I don't know what Avery or God Logic has said to put him in a category of being anti-Muslim or spreading propaganda. But I remember when I saw what happened in San Diego, I thought back, and this is right when I reverted. I remember he came, and I remember you had a debate, and you were speaking about the Bible and going back and forth. I remember that being a good spirited debate for the most part. There were some interruptions. And so I went into his stream earlier, and I don't know if he said things that are incorrect. I have to do my research if I'm wrong. And I super chatted and I said, hey, can you speak about this? I remember the last time I met you, the only time I saw him was there in San Diego, the day that I visited the masjid that was just attacked by terrorists. And I'm not sure if he ignored it, but you didn't see it and you didn't respond. But
unfortunately, the thing with these people is they're not calling you to become Christian. Even recently, as some of the Orthodox Christians have called them out on pushing Muslims to go to Jewish.
You hear that, Hatun?
And so on. Not.
Did I even know that? What did I say? The orthobros. The orthobros are like trying to help these guys.
It is good that Muslims are getting materials, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even goes down a different path, but just to get people away from Islam. And the attacks that they have done on the character of the Prophet, peace be upon him, calling him a murderer and calling him things like this, even though they know that these are incorrect statements, is only to breed hate.
Okay, did you get that part? So the reason you are inspiring young people to go and commit a crime because you are just bringing things about Muhammad.
Yeah, about him murdering people. And then we're calling him a murderer for murdering people?
Yeah, so like he's murdering these people, saying that, okay, I guess saying therefore he's a murderer, that probably not okay. So he's saying like misrepresenting the things like not there. The things, it's like the way he's putting it, like you are bringing hadith to me and hadith makes Muhammad look very bad. Even it's true, that spreads hate. So therefore, you must be the reason why those two young people went out and then tried to murder people and murder 3 people.
Yeah, and then he's telling Muslims to practice. he's telling Muslims to practice their Second Amendment rights. So he's telling them to arm and then saying we're responsible for the violence against Muslims. But if someone were to go out and say, oh, I must protect Muslims by going and killing these Christians who are getting us killed, he would say, what? I'm not responsible. What? What's the debate?
Also, Second Amendment is the guns, having guns.
Yeah, right to bear arms.
Oh, I thought that was a freedom of speech.
No, that's First Amendment.
Oh, okay. Huh. Very
Yeah,
peaceful.
they love both.
Maybe they are gonna build bridges with the guns. You never know. There is no bridge anymore. So
you want me to read a little bit about these guys real quick?
Yeah.
All right, so guys, these are this is NBC. This is from today. These are the guys we inspired with our hate, talking about Muhammad. The two teenage suspects in this week's deadly attack on a San Diego mosque appear to have written a 75-page document replete with neo-Nazi ideology, incel rage, and racist meme culture drawn from the darkest corners of the internet. Yep, that sounds like Avery. In an echo of the 2019 massacre at mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand, the gunmen appeared to have worn body cameras that live streamed their assault, video of which has circulated online. The gunmen, identified by authorities as Caleb Vasquez and Kane Clark, teenagers who are believed to have first met online, killed 3 people at the Islamic Center of San Diego before they took their own lives Monday. Authorities looking into the motivation behind the shooting are working to authenticate the lengthy typewritten document, which is filled with vitriol about Muslims, Jewish people, Black people, Latino people, the LGBTQ community. Maybe they were inspired by Sheikh Uthman and Sneeko shooting the LGBTQ flag. Women and various other identity groups. The document features Nazi iconography and explicit references to accelerationism, a white supremacist ideology that encourages acts of violence to hasten the creation of a white ethno-state. So the accelerationists, they believe you go out and do random attacks because that's going to cause a backlash, which is going to cause a backlash against the backlash, and it's going to go into chaos, and then everyone's going to start killing each other, and then you're going to get your white ethno state. Let's see, quote from the FBI: they didn't discriminate on who they hated. It covered a wide aspect of races and religions. The writings also illustrate general misanthropy and an immersion in online nihilistic, violent extremist ecosystems. Anyway, now notice these guys hate Muslims, Black people, Jews, LGBTQ. Why is that relevant? 2 of the 4 I just mentioned. I mean, Sneeko's yelling the Kaibar chant, which is about slaughtering Jews. And then together they shoot up the LGBTQ flag, and so none of that's spreading hate. None of that's spreading hate. Let alone all the things the Quran says about killing a bunch of people.
Well, I searched that 75 pages document. The parts were available. Your name was not there. Surprising.
What about Avery?
God Logic wasn't there.
What?
I didn't Google as Avery. I just
they didn't say we hate Black people, but Avery's one of the good ones, so we're going to listen to him and do whatever he says.
I don't know. Like, I just searched as God Logic, and God Logic wasn't there. And then apostate prophet. I thought that as AP. No, so your names were not involved in that document.
Yeah, I see a comment from Michael Feldman. He says the irony is that Muslims love Nazis. Yeah, they love the all the Hitler stuff and say that they need to finish what he started and stuff like that. So it is pretty wild.
Well, that's what it is now. So you use these opportunities that your brothers are being murdered. Children become fatherless. You use this opportunity to spread hate, as well as shut down the freedom of speech. Trying to make Islam untouchable. You cannot critique Islam. You cannot bring hadith about Muhammad. You cannot say Muhammad went and then murdered people, ordered people to be murdered, because that makes our prophet look bad. Actually, no, that makes you hate preacher.
And that's what's crazy. I mean, they start talking about how they love their freedoms and their freedom of speech and so on. What's their real goal? To silence critics of Islam. It's like, you guys are so fake. This is what, again, I'll say it again. If this were non-lying Muslims, if this were non-lying, just Muslims trying to live their lives and they go to the mosque and stuff like this, doing this, it would be totally reasonable. I wouldn't have a word in response, but it's I made a video out of this many years ago, and YouTube really didn't like it, and they kept coming after me because they didn't understand what it was. They didn't understand the point. They just went by the title. But the video was titled something like "Why All Terrorism is Now Islamic Terrorism." And so they're saying they think it means all terrorism is done by Muslims or something like that, which is not. That's absurd. But it was titled "Why All Terrorism is Now Islamic Terrorism." And the point of the video was, when Muslims carry out a terrorist attack, they're doing that for Islam, and it spreads terror and stuff. But now when non-Muslims do a terrorist attack, Muslims use that too, to protect Islam from criticism, and so it's like, no matter who does the terrorist attack, they use it. They use anyone who commits a terrorist attack. When Anders Breivik goes and kills a bunch of people, they use that. They use that to shield Islam from criticism. It doesn't matter who does it, they use it. So all terrorism is like used by these guys to do this, what they're doing right here. It's sick. It's a sick ideology.
Yeah, I find that part hard as well. Like, people are just being murdered, and what you are trying to do is, I'm going to shut down every critics of Islam by like using the opportunity of dead bodies. Just like wrong. But
that's what they do.
Their religion wouldn't survive. That's what, like, I remember Muslim scholars are saying that, like, yeah, don't think. If you start thinking, if you start interacting with others, you are going to become apostate. You are going to be leaving the religion. So we just don't do these things. Anyway, we've got to stop here. I wanted to bring that to people's attention. And then there's another video where Mohammed Hijab is talking about, where he's saying, well, now they're coming after us, it's our term. And then he's putting together how do they play professional victim card. So it's all the same thing. You blame the critics of Islam, not critics of Muslims, but critics of Islam and ideology, so that no one gets to critique Islam anymore. That's the only way Islam can survive, I guess. Any point you wanted to make before I acknowledge the super chats, David?
No. Just here's I mean, guess what, guys? The way things are going in the world, you're gonna keep seeing more of these attacks. It's gonna be on churches, it's gonna be on synagogues, it's gonna be on mosques, it's gonna be on everything. And yep, well, Muslims will use it all. It's crazy. So that's what sucks.
Human heart is ugly and needs Lord Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your generosity, D. Wood, a Patreon saint of punctuality.
That's me. Hey, everyone, notice I'm on time for Hatun's live stream. Never for my own.
Well, that's not good, though. But since you are studying Eastern Orthodoxy, maybe that is the name of saint you can use for yourself, David. Because when you get baptized as an Eastern Orthodox, you choose the name of saint. To take
oh yeah, I should start thinking about a name just in case.
Yeah, you don't know what is out there.
They do have some cool names. Let me Google coolest Orthodox names.
Thank you very much, David. Why do you define your challenge by having JP on? He's evangelical nationalist that holds to literal neo-Nazi views.
Does he? I've never heard any of that stuff from him, but neo-Nazi? You seen who he rolls with? That wouldn't make sense. Yeah. If swing by tomorrow, and if you want me to ask about that, I'll ask about that. But yeah, if he holds to literal neo-Nazi views, I will tell him to get off my channel
Or challenge him.
or humiliate him.
Does the Quran teach all Muslims go straight to hell? Is it possible that all this mass shooting and agenda-driven shooting are CIA, MK Ultra? What is CIA?
Yeah, that's where everything is a conspiracy. I mean, when you say, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. Just don't say it's something possible when it's, you normally want to know if it's the best explanation. So yeah, if you have these guys with their 75-page manifesto and so on, doesn't seem crazy to think they're just a bunch of losers who are online and they start hating everyone and feeling bad for themselves and going on a killing spree.
On that, just wanted to also bring something to people's attention. His mother, one of the gentleman's mother, teenager's mother, called the police few hours before shooting took place and then informed the police that their gun is missing and their son is suicidal and car is missing, and police start like looking for them. And there's conversations of alphabet people group that they might be involved, all those kind of things. Just shows us literally like our next generation is so messed up and desperately needs Jesus. There was like another shooting again, young man was involved. It doesn't look good for America. In UK, we've got Islamists. It seems that over there you've got teenagers who are trying to figure out their identity. Does Quran teach all Muslims go straight to hell? Unless you commit jihad, you kill in the name of Allah or get killed in the name of Allah, you get to go to Jannah, and you can intercede for 70 something of your relatives. Other than, yes, you go to hell, enjoy that a little bit, get your popcorn, and then move to heaven after all of your sins are being passed on Jews and Christians.
I just looked up all the Orthodox names, and I'm going with Spiridon. That's cool. Spiridon. Saint Spiridon. Saint Spiridon Wood.
Okay, you don't use the surname, so you just like go with the name. So how is known?
Huh?
How is he known? What did he do? How did he become saint? Why is he saint?
Oh, I don't know. I just looked at all the names. I don't know what they did.
Okay, so those things are big deal. Maybe you need a couple of.
I'll look him up. If he's like the patron saint of nerds or something like that, I'm like, okay, or the patron saint of florists or something like that. You got to be patron saint of something cool.
Thank you very much for your generosity. Uthman was probably like, hey, that's our job. Oh, regarding the shooting, maybe.
Oh, wait, hang on. I looked him up. Spiridon, or Spiridon of Tramithus, is a saint honored in both the Eastern and Western Christian traditions. What's he known for? What did he do? Oh, he's at a Council of Nicaea. He reportedly converted a pagan philosopher to Christianity. Boom! Yeah, convert all the pagans by using a potsherd to illustrate how one single entity, a piece of pottery, could be composed of three unique entities, fire, water, and clay, a metaphor for the Christian doctrine of the Trinity. It is said that when he said, "In the name of the Father," the potsherd miraculously burst into flames. And of the Son, and when he said, "And of the Son," water began to drip on the ground. And when he said, "And of the Holy Spirit," only dust remained in his hand. Yeah, this guy sounds pretty cool.
Make sure you get the screenshot so that you don't forget the name, David.
How can I forget Spiridon?
Okay. Thank you very much for your generosity, Mark. God bless you, Atul and David. I pray your hearts are strengthened by Galatians 6:9. I miss Nabil. Thank you very much for putting Nabil's baptism video as well, David.
I said in the video, I had zero clue. That was weird. I was just talking to Mike Lacona. He was on with me earlier, and he knew Nabil too way back then. Knew Nabil when he was a Muslim. But yeah, I was trying to figure that out, and I was just like, we didn't have a clue people were that YouTube was gonna be a thing, or people who would know who we are, and so I just never thought about it and totally forgot.
Sheikh Uthman and Sinico don't understand what it means to be an American. It doesn't matter where you were born. It matters what you believe. It doesn't matter how good your English is. It is only matter how do you do with the freedom you are given. Sinico and Uthman are not Americans, says Robert. I don't know. I would have sympathized for them, but since they never have sympathized for us, when it happens, I feel nothing.
Well, you say they, I mean, you don't know what the security guard who got shot was like. He could have been the nicest guy in the world.
Well, there are some posts about him that doesn't make him look very nice, actually. But at the end, life of human beings are being taken away from them, and God gives life, God takes life. So someone else stepped in and then tried to do the work of God. So in that sense, it breaks our heart, right? Like, there are kids don't have father anymore. They won't see the father figure in their life. In that sense, it should break our heart and then make us concerned, and we need to get on our knees and pray for them. But yeah, it is sad that when something happens in the, I don't know, to the Catholic school kids or in somewhere else, we don't get to see there are voices speaking against it. That is sad. But we should feel something about it, because those things grieves heart of God. Christians versus Muslims on attacking is vastly disproportionate. Not even close. 48K attacks since the Tower falls. 2,794 since 1970. There were someone was talking about it. 97% of the attacks that has been done in USA, they are looking at like all this gunshot stuff. They were done towards non-Muslims. Only 3% might have any links with towards Muslim community, and still like even 1% is too much, but that's kind of proportion apparently. Sounds like Helter Skelter.
Oh no, Helter Skelter. Yep.
What is that?
That's correct. You ever heard of Charles Manson and the Manson family murders? They went on a killing spree, and anyway, Helter Skelter was what they called that. They were going to start killing people, and this was ultimately going to lead to a race war with everyone killing each other, and then they were going to so that was the idea. But yeah, that is, I thought the same thing. I just didn't think anyone would know what I was talking about. So
I'm 21 years old, ex-Muslim from UK, and I'm thinking about opening up a channel to discuss the problems going on. David, you have more experiences. What advice would you give?
Try to be consistent in posting. Make sure it's something you're passionate about, because unless something really, really weird happens, no one's going to pay attention to you at first. That's just how it happens. There's tons of people making content, so it takes a while. It takes a while for people to build up a following, and for a long time, you'll put hard work into videos, and you're not getting the views you think you should be getting, given how much work you've put into it and so on. But that's what they used to call it, the pain period. They call it the pain period. Everyone went through this, right? You work really hard in a video, and it just still doesn't do well. You just have to keep doing it. There are all kinds of studies that would show people starting on YouTube, and it would show their views, and they're low and low and low. And then there would be the people who give up after 6 months or 8 months or a year or something like that. But then it would show people who became wildly popular, and they had the same beginning, slow, and then it started taking off. So yeah, you got to go through your pain period. You want to make good content. You don't want to be obsessed with perfection to the point if it paralyzes you, because you want to put out content. But yeah, and you have to be thinking towards the future. If you make a video and you're thinking, oh, it didn't get enough views, well, eventually you have something that takes off. And when something takes off, YouTube algorithm recommends some of your other videos. So when it recommends your other videos, even if people didn't watch them, then all of a sudden they'll start watching your older videos. So you want to make sure there's good stuff there.
Maybe we need to do like proper training on that, David. You need to do proper training on that. I'm sure you've got nothing else to do. Thank you very much for your generosity. Holy now, were granted martyr admission by Allah. I think that's comment to the security guard, right? Because security guard, beginning of May, made a comment that he wanted to be martyred.
Oh, really?
Okay, we will stop here. We will stop here. I just wanted to bring Manchester event to your attention, as well as whom Muslims are blaming while they are playing this professional victim card from the blood of their Muslim brothers. I wanted to bring that to your attention. So, David, your last thoughts, anything you want us to keep eye on, what's coming up beside like hearing your Eastern Orthodox name?
Yeah, that could, well, wait, do I have to like be in there for a couple years or something like that before they give me, do I have to get baptized before I get the name?
Yeah, you get the name when you are getting baptized. You choose the name before the baptism, and then the day you get baptized.
Oh, so I can choose it now, and then I don't get it till later. Anyway, yeah. So I have Orthodox Ethos on there with me tomorrow. He's an Orthodox priest. He's going to be explaining the case for Orthodoxy, and that'll be 5 p.m. And then at 8 p.m. I'll have JP, who someone says is a neo-Nazi, even though he works with everybody. Black, Latino, white. He works with there. Okay, he's a weird neo-Nazi then. But yeah, we'll find out. See what happens.
Okay, we will keep eye on what's happening over there. And thank you very much, everyone who joined us in the chat as well. By God's grace, we will see you sometime next week. God bless you all.